Morning guys, I'm sitting in the field with the horses. They are always curious and I just like to spend some time with them. I'm actually sitting here waiting for the hay. It's pretty early and it will get delivered soon. So I'm just chilling here with the small ponies. It's going to be a nice day, you can feel it already. It's still pretty early so the ground is wet, but I don't really care. I just like sitting here with them. And today it's going to be a pretty special video as well. I will explain a bit about that later when the hay gets delivered. First I wanted to start with this small bottle in my pocket. Let me show you close up. You have seen this in my last video. It's Magic Mind, and today this is actually my last bottle. So I already drank it today, so this one is for tomorrow. So I've been using it 2 weeks now and I'm still just as excited. So I just wanted to remind you guys of the fact that you can use my discount code NikkiG20 and you can use the link in the description box as well to try it out. After 2 weeks I think I can say that I really love it. Coco, I told you guys about it in last week's video and I'm still just as excited and happy with the product. So yeah, really grateful for the sponsorship with Magic Mind, and if you like to try it out, please use my code and my link. And if you're looking for that clean focus without an anxious feeling, like that sharp mind, I think it's a great product. So yeah, just wanted to share that real quick. What do you think, Coco? Coco just loves to hang out. It's so funny. She doesn't look too happy now, but whenever I go sit in the field, she is there because she just likes to spend time with you, I guess. So I don't know if you guys can see it, probably not, but Bounty is right over here. You can probably hear her breathing. And Oreo is also here, but Coco is the one that always wants to show herself. Hey, you're beautiful. You're a pretty girl. Well guys, the hay has been delivered. Let me get you a little bit closer so I can talk to you. So I have to go down again. Just wanted to do a fun angle, something different this time, but that means getting up here, getting down again, getting up here again. Didn't really think it through. Now I just need to grab you guys, come a little bit closer because you're pretty far away now for me to talk to you guys. I like to be a little bit closer. Sorry, Bounty. Yeah, that's a lot better. Well, I want to do something special this video. I'm going to start out with removing this hay that's just been brought. And this plastic over here, you can see this is what is around those hay bales to keep them nice and out of the rain. And sometimes in clips when I film the horses you can maybe see some plastic laying around because sometimes it gets blown away in the wind, and I remove it like once every few weeks when they finish their hay. And now I did really scare Bounty. Sorry, Bound. But yeah, this is how you get your horses to not be afraid so quickly. Just, yeah, you know, be yourself around them, and sometimes you scare them, but then they get used to it, and it doesn't scare them as much when you are out and they see something crazy. But yeah, ponies are not easily scared. Those two are just, you know, they are so curious, they like everything. But Bounty, she can be a bit scared, but she'll be fine. I hope so. But yeah, the hay is delivered, so I'm going to move these bales because they are always in front of the field and I like to watch the nice sunrise here, share it with you guys, and when these bales are in the way it's not that nice to look at, and I need to remove this mess as well because it doesn't look too pretty when I try to film YouTube videos. But this week I wanted to do something special, so this is going to be one of my normal videos. I'll show you what I do around my cottage, around the homestead. But it was actually my birthday when you are watching this. It isn't my birthday yet, but when you are watching this on Sunday, it has been my birthday in this week. So I wanted to do something special for this birthday video and answer some of your questions while I'm filming what I would normally film. So don't worry, it's going to be not one crazy video idea. I'm just going to answer some of your questions while I'm filming, just so you know. If you don't like that, please skip and just watch the normal things I film. If you're curious about my life, you can of course listen to the questions and the answers, and yeah, I get a lot of questions from you guys, and I understand. I try to answer everything I can in the comments, but when my channel is growing, which it is, and I'm very grateful for, I get a lot more comments and a lot more questions. So I try to read everything, but reacting to everything is quite a hard job. So I really love your comments. I try to do my best to read all of them, and also try to reply to every single one of them. I did for a long time, but yeah, now with the audience growing, which is great, it's just a bit harder. It takes a lot of time to read all those things, and I'm the kind of person that really likes to do things outside, and sitting behind my computer and replying to comments is something that yeah, I really need to sit down and take the time to do it, and I'm not good at it. So I love to interact with you guys, and I love to read everything, and getting to know you guys means a lot to me. And I really appreciate everybody that takes the time to leave a comment, because it keeps me motivated, and it really helps me as well, because sometimes I do struggle living the life of a YouTuber now. It's just you know, I'm still getting used to it. It has been a year now, but the channel has been growing, I think, the past month or so, 2 months maybe, and I still struggle sometimes with the fact that everybody can just say whatever they want about me, and it's part of it. But your really nice comments really help me. So yeah, thank you for that. It really keeps me going. But you guys do have a lot of questions, and I understand. I try to be as honest as I possibly can in my videos, try to explain everything about my life here, about the way I live, how I do it, everything. And you still have questions, so yeah, in this video I'm just going to do my normal things. Hey Bounty, you alright girl? You're doing good. Yeah, sorry I scared you. Don't touch the fence, Bounty. She knows when I'm around I always take off the power of the fence, the electricity, because it makes a sound. And I'm working here, so when I touch it I get electricity and I don't like it. So I always take it off when I'm around there. And she knows. So every time I'm around, she knows the power is off, and she touches the fence with her nose to try it out. Smart girl. Maybe not so smart, because I can be here and the power is still on and she will get shocked. But hey girl. Hey beauty. Yeah, what was I saying? Always get distracted by the animals. Yeah. But yeah, I want to answer some of your questions. That's what I was trying to say. So it's going to be a normal video, the rest of the video, but in between I will quickly answer some of your questions. I made a list on my phone, hey, with things that I get asked a lot. Oh, I was interrupted by the fact that my tripod was falling apart a little bit. So the wind started blowing and I could see that it wasn't that stable. So here I am again, ready to answer the first question. Let me look it up. I have it on my phone. Oh yes, this was a good one for me to start with, I think, because yeah, this is my birthday video. And a lot of you guys are wondering how old I am. So yeah, I turned 30 when you are watching this. So yeah, I'm 30 years old, and that's quite an easy first question to get started. But yeah, I'm going to get started doing things now, because I don't want to bore you guys with talking too long. So I am going to put these hay bales over there, so they are not in the way when I try to film nice clips for you guys. And I'm going to remove the ugly plastic over there, so it looks nice and clean again. When I move the hay bales like this, I always get some people that ask me, isn't it easier to roll them? And I understand why you would say that, because it does seem easier to roll them, right? And sometimes it is, but when the grass is a little bit wet, like it is in the morning or when it has been raining, it gets very slippery. And when you try to roll them, you don't have enough grip. And when you don't have enough grip, you cannot move them anymore. So by turning them, you have a bit more control and you can always move them even when the grass is wet, so that's why I do it like that. In the field you can most of the times easily roll them, but when on the longer grass here, it's just easier to flip them because you have a bit more control, and when rolling them they just start slipping and slipping, and yeah, it doesn't work as nice. So it's not like I want to have a more heavy workout or something like that, or that I'm just too stupid to think of the fact that you can roll them maybe. Yeah, I know. It moves easier when you are rolling it, but with the wet grass it just doesn't work. So it's not like I do it because I think it's more fun this way, it's just works a bit better. And once you get the momentum going like this, they are pretty easy to move. The horses are still finishing up their last bale, but I'm going to keep this one here because this one will go in the field and I don't need to move it all the way around when it's going in there anyway, so I will do that later today. I am not too good in doing things and talking at the same time. So I'm also not great at answering questions when I'm doing things. So I am going to answer another question now. And then after this one, we'll start doing some things, and then in between I will answer some more questions. But another question I get is if we are self-sufficient here, if the farm is self-sufficient, if I am self-sufficient. And no, we are not. I wish we were, but we are not. It's pretty hard to be self-sufficient, I think. It's not easy to do, and I wish we were, but yeah, maybe one day I will be. Right now, actually, we are far from it. It's just all the animals we have are a hobby. It's because we love animals. Of course, we do have our own eggs. We do have some things, and this year we started to grow our own tomatoes, so that's something. But yeah, we do grow some things. We have chickens, we have animals, so in a way we would have meat, but the animals are pets, so don't really eat them. I would like to be self-sufficient one day, but I think right here with this property and the climate and everything, it's pretty hard. And also I don't have enough experience yet, so I'm just starting to learn things, and yeah, it takes some time. I would like to be one day. I think it's important in a way, but it's also just, I think, a nice skill set to have, you know, to be pretty self-sufficient. And it's just, yeah, I think it's hard. It's something you really need to grow into and learn things every year, and I try to learn as much things as I can. But we are far from it right now, and I am not going to pretend we are self-sufficient in any way, because it's not true. I'm very happy with the things we do have, and we moved here I think around 5 years ago, so it's fairly new as well. And yeah, it's we don't live from anything we produce as well, because sometimes people ask what do you sell and things like that. It's actually everything we grow we eat ourselves, like the tomatoes right now. We don't have nearly enough to sell on the farmer's market. Also maybe one day, but just not right now. We do in summertime have more than enough eggs, but we just give those away mainly to our neighbors, friends, family. So yeah, not self-sufficient, but hopefully one day I will be. Right now, no. But if I remember correctly, there is a question in there about things I would like to do in the future. So I will probably answer that one later in this video, and then I'll explain a bit more. For now, I'm going to grab some yogurt and eat this. So it's dry now, and we are going to ignore the fact that the wind is blowing, and I'm just going to eat this outside. You know how much I love being outside, so if I can, I just like to be outside. And it's dry, and if it starts raining, until now it has just been like very small drops, and it's fine. So as long as the trees are not too dangerous, I think I can safely sit at a pond, so that's where I'm going. it's dry now. The weather has been changing so much the last few weeks. There are days when it's extremely warm, and then there are days where it's like raining and pretty cold as well. So yeah, it's been a crazy summer so far. And now it's dry again, so then I started to think, oh, maybe I should do an outdoor project, because I just like to spend more time outdoors. But yeah, I think it doesn't look too great. There are still a lot of clouds, but I think it will start to rain quickly again, so we'll just stay inside. We'll do some project inside. I was thinking about maybe using the air dry clay to make some candle holders again, because it will be autumn pretty quickly, and I think it will be nice to have some more candle burners just for myself. And it's a nice project to do as well. I mean, I don't mind doing those small DIY projects, but yeah, always when it's dry and I'm able to do some work outside, I like to go outside. But yeah, for now we'll stay here as any. And I got some questions through Instagram, but also on YouTube, about people asking if I sell my DIY projects. And I don't. It's a bit hard to do with shipping and all those kind of things, but also I just don't have enough time to really make, you know, a lot to sell. I make them for my own and for my family and friends, and then most of the times I just give them away. And for a birthday or something like that, I like to make something. Hey Sammy, good boy. But yeah, so it's hard because it takes a lot of time to make those things. And yeah, just what is happening right now when it's beautiful weather, I prefer to go outside. So I'm also not good at spending a lot of time making those things. But I am thinking about selling something else. Because for you guys that follow me for some time, you know I'm actually a photographer, and that's also really what I like to do. So I'm thinking about maybe selling some photography prints for you guys, like art prints for on the wall. So yeah, I'm thinking about that. Need to figure out some logistics, like shipping internationally, and if I'm going to do the printing myself. I'm a very hands-on person, so I like to do everything I can myself. So if I want to do it like how I want it, like if I want it to be perfect, I want to do it myself. So I want to do the whole process, like from photography to editing to printing. I like to do that myself, and that's also the way I've done it the most in the past. So if you guys think, well, I would like to buy an art print for something nice on the wall from one of my photographs, I'm thinking about doing something like that in the future. It's not going to happen like in a few weeks, but if you hear me talk about this and think, well, I would like that, please leave a comment, because then I know if some of you might be interested in it or not. It will probably just be from around here, you know, the shots you see in the videos, but then I also make pictures, of course, because that's what I like to do. So it will probably just be like nature, animals, just from around here, from on the property. But yeah, I'm just thinking about it. I'm just sharing some thoughts here. It's not like I already made something or a web shop or something like that. It's just something I was thinking about. I get a lot of very nice comments about my photography, so yeah, I was thinking that would be something nice to share with you guys, and something you guys might like, and I can make some money with it as well. And I think it's a bit more easy to ship like printed art instead of like a clay DIY project or a candle, because it breaks so easily. But yeah, that's something completely else. I just want to share with you real quick. If you think that would be a cool idea, let me know, and I'll start working on it for real. Now it's just thinking, but then I'll start figuring out how to do it. But yeah, that's something completely different. I am going to remove this setup here, because this is where the video editing happens, which I don't do on my own. Well, not completely. Dylan, my brother, he helps with the editing process. That's also a question I get a lot. If I do everything on my own, and I do most of the filming, I would say 99% of the filming I do on my own. And the rest is Dylan holding the camera or helping out with shots. But I'm alone most of the time, so I don't have people around to help me. And the editing process, I'm just too busy sometimes. So Dylan helps out with editing. He's also a bit more quick with it than I am. I select all the clips beforehand and tell him a little bit about what I have in mind, and then he makes something beautiful of it. So yeah, that happens here. You can see this nice picture of Zeno I took a few years ago. But I need to remove all this because I need to use this table for DIY projects. That's also why sometimes it's a bit hard to start things like this, because I love making things with clay and I love making candles, but I don't really have a lot of indoor space. So most of the times it's just I'm doing it on the countertop, but when I make a longer thing or I need more equipment, I need a table. But I use the table for the computer and for like lenses and things. So I always need to rearrange a bit on my inside space to just be able to work here, because it's a tiny house, so I don't have a lot of space. This is the only table I have, so I'm going to remove all the stuff now, put it here in front of the window, and we'll see if we can make some candle holders. Just some candles to get a bit more of that autumn mood. It is like now the weather is like it's already autumn anyway. But yeah, I like to make it a bit cozy when I'm working on projects like this, just so it has a bit more of like that calming effect. That's nice when you work on something. And yeah, when it's getting a bit cold outside, I always get a bit of that cozy feeling. I like to light a fire. I need to if it's really cold. I needed to make a fire like last week at night because it was so cold. And that's not really normal to happen in August. But yeah, it happened. So a bit of the candles just to set a nice mood. And I also have this one. That is, if you watched one of my previous videos, I made this candle holder out of clay and then I painted it. I still really like it. It's very simple, but yeah, I think it looks beautiful, and it's just nice to have something that you made with your own hands. You can of course buy cheap things as well, but yeah, I like to make it myself, and I still really like this one. And I also really like that it's simple, you know, it doesn't really need to be complicated. Right now I'm also going to make very simple things because I'm not that great at doing things like these. I can make the most beautiful things, I just want them to be nice for me, you know, they're in my own home, so if I like it, I'm happy with it. Was a very good choice to go inside and stay inside because it started to rain again, and the wind is also picking up, so yeah, not so nice to be outside. So I'm just setting up all the stuff here. It takes a bit of time, but yeah, you know, when you start working it doesn't really matter anymore. But I just put down this baking paper. It helps to protect your table from the clay. It doesn't stick to the table as easily. You can just grab this, throw it away, and then you don't use, you know, a lot of other stuff to clean up afterwards. it's very, very handy to use, because the clay, it doesn't really stick too well to the paper, so you can easily remove it when you're done. So I think I'm all set up. I'm going to grab the clay. I have a few candles that I want to use for this project, which I got as a gift from my neighbor. They were cleaning up and they had a lot of leftover candles that they gifted to me, so that's very kind. I think I'll have enough for the rest of the year, but yeah, that's perfect for my project. So very nice to have those laying around. So I will use those to get the measurements I need and all those kind of things. So this one is ready now. It will take a few days for it to completely dry out. I really like the look of it. It's just like, it's like somebody put like a ball of clay and just push the candle in, and that's it. And yeah, I think that's quite a funny idea. It was not that easy, but it's fairly easy to make. And sometimes those like very simple things are the beautiful ones. And that's also what I think about life, you know, like sometimes the most simple moments, like enjoying a beautiful sunset, can be so special. And also with like a small thing like a candle holder, sometimes the most simple things can look quite beautiful. And yeah, that's something I really like to believe in as well. And it's also a good excuse to make something that's not too difficult for me to make. And it's fairly quick to do. It's a nice little project you can just do in like an hour or so. The drying takes a bit longer, and then of course if you want to paint it, it also takes a bit of time to paint it. And I don't know if I'm going to do that. Sometimes I like that just the look of air dried clay. I think it's very beautiful, but it depends, because sometimes if you paint it, it will last a bit longer because it doesn't damage that quickly. And if it's like a glossy paint, you can clean it up if it's needed. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm just removing some small things I see, and if it's needed I will paint it, but you guys will definitely not see it in this video, I wish. But yeah, it just takes too long to dry completely. This clay, it can take up to like 4 or 5 days before I think it's completely dry enough to paint, especially because it's like a ball. So if I want the inside to be completely dry, it just takes a bit of time, and you don't want to rush these things. You made a beautiful thing, so take a few days for it to dry out. But yeah, I'm happy with it, and I think I am going to go outside now. Yeah, I'm done here. I could make a few other ones, but I'm going to save the ideas for later, because I like to do it now, you know. I'm in the flow now, so I can grab some clay and continue for hours. But it is dry now, and I don't want to make it boring, you know. If I do a lot of candle making or clay DIY projects now, I will get bored of it when the winter starts and I need to do inside projects because the weather is just too bad. So yeah, nice little project for now, giving a taste of all the autumn projects I have in mind. And I'm going to let this one dry out here, clean up, go outside. in a video, I think it's a few weeks ago. Don't remember which episode it was, but I think 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, you might remember me sitting right next to the pond where I was making something out of clay, a candle holder. It is this one, some of you might recognize it. So I never used any varnish to protect it, and in that moment I talked to you guys about that I wanted to gift it maybe to my grandmother, and you know, it was just laying around. So I am going to spray it now to protect it a bit more, and then I'm going to gift it to her. It's a candle holder. My grandmother doesn't really use any real candles anymore. She thinks it's not safe for her to use it because her hands don't work that great, and she's scared that maybe a candle will fall on the ground or something like that. So she doesn't burn any real candles anymore. She uses it once with like a LED light in there. Still looks pretty cozy and it's safe. So I think it's a very smart idea. If you don't feel safe doing something, don't do it. So I'm going to spray it now. So I will gift it to her when it's dry. Will probably be tomorrow. So I hope she'll like it. Sometimes with my grandmother she's like, oh, that's very nice, but I don't need it, so just use it yourself, and I have enough. So I hope she likes this one. It's a bit of like a spring autumn themed one, but I will show you guys a close-up for you that haven't seen that video yet, if you would like to see it. I will put it somewhere in the screen here, or Dylan will put it in the screen because he will edit this video. But then you can watch that one where I make this thing out of clay. If you like it, you can watch that one. But we will spray it now. You can see with all those leaves and dirty things, it's starting to look like autumn already. We do have a lot of leaves coming from the trees here, especially when the wind is blowing like it is a bit now. But we had some storms the past 2 weeks, so a lot of leaves fell from the trees, and also a lot of acorns already. They give quite a loud bang when they fall on the roof. It's always a bit scary, you need to get used to it. Sometimes it's like a jump scare, but it's just part of living under the trees here in like a forested area. I think it's cozy in a way, but it does give a lot of mess around here. And it also shows that we are reaching the end of summer already. It feels like it has been summer for just 2 weeks, and now it's changing already. You can also see it with the horses because they are already making a winter coat. So yeah, a few weeks and then it will probably start to cool down again. But let's spray this one. So I think I'm going to do something around this fence here. I think it's one of my first YouTube videos. If you guys go way back and you will start to see YouTube videos that are probably not the same quality. When I just started trying YouTube out, it's been like a year ago now. So it sounds like a crazy long time. It feels like a long time as well, but also it feels like I just started yesterday. I'm still so new to it, but yeah, we learn as we go. But I made this fence, this wooden fence. Before there was like very old fencing here, didn't really look nice, so I built that fence as well. There was no fence when we moved here, so I upgraded the fence. I think it was, well, probably when I started YouTube, so probably around like last year. So yeah, wait a sec. Need to close the gate real quick because the dog was walking around. So I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I think the look of the wood is very natural. I like it around my cottage. Of course, this like horse pasture area is right next to my house, so I like it to give a little bit of the same, like, I don't really like to use the word, but the same vibe. So I like the wood, and I was thinking about maybe painting it, but I think that wouldn't look too nice. I like the kind of natural light wood especially in contrast to my tiny house, because that of course has a black outside, like the wood paneling on the side, it's black, it's very dark, and I also really like that look. But when it's all black, I don't like it anymore. So I like the kind of like contrasting colors. So I thought about painting it, but I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe one day, but not right now. But I do really like to have plants around here. And I started in this area. You've seen me plant some stuff here. But I think I also might like it on this longer side here. Now it's just, you know, fence and open field. And I think it would look very beautiful if you have some like flowers and plants growing there, just to give that more like a natural vibe to it. And also because from that side, if you look over to my cottage, it just looks nice when there's like a bit more color here. But then there's a problem, because when I plant it like around the fence here, the horses can get to it. And I don't think that's a problem. Horses are allowed to eat things they can eat, but that's the important part here. They must be able to eat it without it being like poisonous for them. And that's very important, because I want it to be a bit overgrown. I think that looks more beautiful. And I don't want to be, you know, that I need to be able to leave it for a week. I don't want to cut it down every few days. And also I don't want to worry about it, you know. I don't want to be worried that maybe like a branch breaks off and gets into their pasture and they eat it and they might get sick. I don't want to worry about all that. I just want everything to be safe around the horses. So that's quite an important thing, and that's why here I went for like those butterfly plants that attract butterflies and bees and things like those. I really like them. They grow very natural. You just trim them down like once a year, and then they grow pretty big. I like the leaves, I like the flowers they get, and they are safe for horses. It's not a problem if they nibble or eat from it. And I wanted to mainly grow, of course, on the other side of the fence, but when something grows big and wild, I just want it to be safe for them. So I think that's a good idea, but it's also a bit expensive to buy a lot of plants for this area, because it is quite a long fence and I want it to look nice like next year. So I don't want to plant like 1, 2 or 3 and wait till they get big. I have to do that anyway, but takes quite a long time for it to fill up this area. So actually Dylan, my brother, he told me about the fact that around my mom's house there's a lot of like those plants, the butterfly plants, growing on their own, because she has a very big one over there. So there are all small ones around there, and he said, well, you could try to move them, because my mom removes them anyway. If they are growing everywhere, she will remove them and throw them away, and I think that's a bit sad, but I understand it's needed because it cannot grow everything. It also grows everywhere in the garden. For here it's not a problem, so I would like that. So I'm going to grab a few smaller ones from over there and plant them here. That way it's free. I don't know how good they will do, of course, but we'll just have to figure it out. But things like those, probably a lot of you guys are very experienced with gardening and things like that. I am not, so for me it's just a learning process. I try everything out and see if it works, and it's the same with this. But let's first see if we are able to collect a few of those over at my mom's, because she has such a big plant of it. Apparently they are starting to grow everywhere. So we will take a look, see if we can find anything, and hopefully I'm able to get a few out of the ground in pretty good shape, plant them here, and they will do well here, but we'll see. It will probably take like 1 to 2 years for it to start really looking beautiful, but hey, you have to start somewhere, so I'm going to start here. And I think it's also quite a long time since I've answered one of the questions, so I'll grab my phone real quick and see if I can find the question for you guys. Oh yes, what is my favorite animal? I don't know if you mean like from the animals I own or like in general, but I love all animals. My least favorite one, I don't know, I think all animals are beautiful. I'm not a big fan of snakes. So I think that might be my least favorite, but I also think snakes can be very beautiful as well. So, but my favorite one, from the animals I own, My favorite one, I don't want to pick a favorite because it feels a bit wrong for me, but I think it's Zeno, my dog. I love him to bits. He's, you know, he's my best friend, and yeah, I've had him for a long time. You know, he's 16 years old now, so I've had him for 16 years, and that's a long time. It's the longest I've had any of my animals. So yeah, he's been with me the longest. So from all my animals, he's probably the favorite. And no, I'm not able to pick a favorite animal. When I was a child, elephants were my favorite animal, but that was mainly because my grandparents were crazy about Africa. My grandmother always said her favorite animal was a giraffe, and my granddad always said his favorite animal was an elephant. And he also did like a lot of things for charities that work with animals, like orphaned animals, to take care of them. So he always had a lot to tell about animals and elephants mostly. So when I was very young, he made me crazy about elephants. Unfortunately, my granddad passed away a few years ago, but yeah, I think in his spirit, I'll have to say elephant is my favorite animal. But in reality, I love all animals. So yeah, well, I'll take a look around and see if I can find some of those nice little baby plants. You can see this very large one over here. This is the one in my mother's garden. It's very big. I cut it down like once a year, and then it just returns very beautiful. If you see one of my clips where I have those close-up clips of like all the butterflies, it's always in this one because it attracts a lot of butterflies. But yeah, around here there are a few baby ones we are going to collect, and I think they all come from this one. And I don't really know too much about it because I'm really no garden expert. You guys probably know a lot more than I do. But I know this one has like white and purple flowers, and I think they are very beautiful. I love the colors, and it's a big and healthy one, so I'm hopeful the babies will be as well. And I already see a lot of the smaller ones over there, so we are going to see if we can collect some. Hopefully I will be able to keep them alive and put them right next to the fence, and next year they will be nice, big and beautiful. So yeah, let's see if we can remove one of the smaller ones. Quite a big one already. Didn't know there were big ones like these around, but I will dig a hole for it and put it in the ground right away before we start looking for different smaller ones, so this one gets a good start. So now you can probably see why I would like for here to grow some plants here, because I think it will look pretty beautiful if you look from where you guys are standing now over there to the cottage. I think it will look pretty cool if this starts, you know, overgrowing a bit. And this one is a lot bigger than I suspected they would be. I think I might attach this to the fence later, so it gets a bit more light here. The spot where it was over there is pretty similar to where it is now, like shade and sun. The ground is a bit different, but the other ones are doing good here, so I think it should be fine. I just don't know how it feels about being moved here, you know. I try to keep as much of the roots as I can, but right there it was in the gravel, so the roots were a bit funny already, so we'll have to see how it goes. I think there's a good chance it will survive here, but yeah, I'm going to attach it to the fence here so it gets a bit more light and it's upright a bit more protected. But yeah, I'm happy with how it looks, and I think when this is one large big bush here, it will look even more beautiful. And yeah, I'm happy with it. It's starting to get cloudy again, so I think for today I'm not going to grab more. Maybe later tonight, if there is a nice sunset, I might go outside again. But probably the rest of it will collect tomorrow and put them in. I don't want to put them in the ground if it's going to be real stormy and raining very hard. For now I think it's fine, but I am going to answer another question. Let me see. Oh, yes. A very common one. I addressed this multiple times already, but a lot of people are asking how I'm able to afford living like this, and how I'm able to pay for everything and how I make money and like everything financially. There's a lot of curiosity, but I think I told a few times already that I don't own the land here. You know, I rent my spot, I paid for my cottage, but I don't own the land. It's family owned, and I wouldn't be able to do this if it was not for my family. You know, they paid for this. My mom and my stepdad bought this whole property. You know, the land is theirs, and I'm lucky enough to be able to rent a small part and help them out here as well. So that's how I'm able to do it. And I also work, you know. I do photography. I help out my mom sometimes when she needs a hand. So it's not like I do nothing and only make YouTube videos. I wish I could, maybe one day, but for now it's just something extra I do. So yeah, I do work. I wouldn't say it's full time, maybe in summertime because it's a bit more busy and there's a lot of, you know, odd jobs to do. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to afford this if I were to buy it. I wouldn't have the money for it, you know. Land is very expensive in the Netherlands, like it is probably where you guys are living as well. I think it's expensive everywhere right now, and it is here, so I wouldn't be able to afford it. And yeah, you get the most random accusations, you know. I got messages on Instagram from people saying, oh, your sugar daddy is paying for this, and all those kind of things, and I just laugh about it because, you know, you are allowed to think whatever you want to think, of course, but no sugar daddy for me. No, it's just, it's my family's land, and I just live here and help them out, so that's how I'm able to afford it. I'm not able to afford it, so if I need to answer that question, no, I'm not able to afford it. I wouldn't be. Maybe one day, you know, you never know what's in the future. But yeah, I don't own the land, I just live here. So yeah, that's another question I got a lot. Maybe I can do another one right away. Oh, why are you single? It's also a very personal one. It's still a bit funny for me to read all those questions you guys have and to answer them, because I'm a pretty private person. And I know a lot of you guys must think, well, why do you make YouTube videos if you're such a private person? And that's also one of the questions. Why did you start YouTube? And it is, I like to share, you know, those beautiful moments. It happens a lot that I'm just standing outside and I'm enjoying the most beautiful, beautiful sunrise or sunset. And I think it's so magical that I just like to capture it, to share it. Because I think life is more beautiful if you are able to share it with beautiful people. And sometimes I just feel like, wow, that's so beautiful, I wish I could share it with the world. And then one day I was like, you know what, why not share it with the world, you know? You can start a YouTube channel, you can share what you do in your life, and the things I think are very beautiful. And sometimes the things that are ugly, because I like to show as realistic as I possibly can, and it's not always beautiful, so sometimes it's very ugly and I like to show it as well. So yeah, that's why I started YouTube, but I'm a very private person, so it's still a bit funny for me to share everything. So yeah, why am I single? That's a very personal question, but and it's also a bit hard to answer, you know. because I don't really know. I like it this way, but I would also like to share, you know what I said before, I like to share beautiful moments with somebody, but it's also, I like spending time alone, you know. I just really love being outside, love doing my own thing, just spontaneous, like decide, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I like to spend time alone, so yeah, you know, you never know what happens one day. I can't really give you an answer as why I'm single. It's just, I love it this way, and you never know what happens in the future, but for now I'm very happy with how my life looks, and yeah, I think that's the most important thing, but you never know what happens in the future. For now I'm happy this way, but yeah, I am there is like, it's attracting insects right now, not butterflies, but there is like a small bee on there, so yeah, I love to watch those kind of things, and especially now I put it here and the bees are already attracted to it. Yeah, it's very nice to see. I think it might rain again in a few minutes. It's sunny, raining, and there's also an airplane flying over, so I don't know if you can hear it, but the military is practicing, I think. So yeah, might rain again, so then we'll go inside again. I think by the looks of it, it's going to be a beautiful sunset. There's clouds, but the sun is out like every 30 minutes, so if we are lucky, going to be a beautiful sunset again. The clay thing has fully dried out. You can see it here. That's what it looks like. Pretty happy with how it turned out. It's just very simple candle holder, you know, nothing too special. But I have enough of those, so I'm going to gift it to my grandmother now. Hopefully she'll like it, but I will take you guys with me, and you can see. I think she will like it. Most of the times when you make something with your own hands, she always likes it, because she used to do it a lot when she was younger. Make things, all kind of things. My grandmother was also a very good painter. I'm not really, unfortunately, but I like to make things like these, and I'm pretty happy with how it looks now, so she'll probably like it, but we'll see. I'm going to bring it to her now, so I noticed she was sitting outside in the sun, so I think that's a perfect moment for me to give it to her, so we're gonna go over there. Dit is van klein.
Dit gewoon in metaal.
Ja, eerst de basis gemaakt en toen die laagjes van klein. Toen die erop geplakt, toen geschilderd en toen zeg maar gespreid zodat het
hartstikke mooi. Hier ruw, maar dat mag wel.
Dan kan hier een kaarsje.
Dank je, lieverd.
Maar ik weet dat u geen kaarsen meer gebruikt, maar ik dacht misschien met een led.
Nee, dus je kan er wel.
Ja, en
dan
dus als het goed is die maat.
Ja, en dan kan ik ook lekker dicht bij me zetten. Oh, wat schattig. Ah man, heb je hem al gezien?
Niet allemaal gezien.
Wat ik gekregen heb van Nicky.
Oh,
schattig,
cute.
Hè? En dan
een vaccineutje erin. Heel leuk.
At the end of the day, I always like to take a moment to just, you know, walk around, enjoy all the animals living around here. Especially at the pond, you know, there's just so many animals living there. The frogs are very nice to watch. They can get scared when you walk up to the side of the pond, but if you sit there, you know, you take a chair or you just sit in the grass and take some time, they get used to you there and they are not so scared anymore. You can watch them from up close. There's also a lot of fish in there. Sometimes we have like ducks and all those kind of animals. It's a very busy place and it's just nice to spend some time there. You can also see the cats, they like it as well, of course, with all the animals there. But yeah, I wanted to answer one of the last videos. Yes, it's one about the future. I talked a bit about it when I started this video, about my plans for the future. The question was, do you want to live like this in the future? Do you want to live here? And I love it here, so yes, of course I would want to live here, but I do not own the property, and I think there might be a day where my mom and my stepdad say, well, we are going to sell everything here and move somewhere else. And I understand, because it's a lot of work, and of course they are getting older as well, and I understand you might not be able to do this when you get older. And that's something I also think about. I know I want to live this way, you know, I want to live on the countryside and in a more quiet area with nature, with a lot of space outdoors, maybe a tiny home or a cottage, because I love living small. So I don't really know yet. I do have some plans for the future. I might not stay in the Netherlands. I like it here, but I also like the rest of the world and the rest of Europe. And I think I might like to move to a different country in 5 to 10 years. And live the same kind of life there, but then I might be able to buy my own property. So yeah, a lot of maybe, you know, this and that, thinking about the future. For now I'm very, very happy with where I'm at, but you never know how life goes, and I try to enjoy every day of living here, and I do, because I really love it. But in 5 to 10 years I might live this life somewhere else, you know. There's a lot of beautiful countries. Europe is beautiful as well, and it's fairly easy to move around inside Europe if you are born here. I like the rest of the world as well, but it's a little bit more difficult to move there. And inside Europe there are a lot of amazing countries where it's able to live on the countryside, a more quiet, maybe a more simple life, you know, and that's something I definitely want in the future. And then something that's my own, you know, that I bought myself, something that, yeah, I really love. So I love this and I enjoy every day, but I don't know what the future holds for me, and we'll see. I guess we'll see. But yeah, that is it for today's video. It's a very long one, so if you're still here, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you did. If you have other questions, you can always let me know. I try to answer them as much as I can. If you have video ideas, things you would like to see from things you would like me to film, to show you guys, let me know. I might get to it, and it's always nice to have some video ideas as well. But yeah, I'm going to watch the sunset now, because I think it's a pretty one, and then I will see you guys again next week. Thank you for watching.